Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Robyn Zimmerman. Steve Gaito has joined us once again. As you know, he is a certified financial planner and a partner with us at WHHI-TV. Steve, you're up in Marion, North Carolina in your office, and Gracie is with you, your dog, right?
I can barely see her head right there.
How's she doing?
She's doing real well. She's recovered from her injury. She thought she was super dog and went jumping off the steps. And at 14 years old,
No.
the body doesn't land the way that you think it would.
Aw, well, I'm glad she's doing better. Now let's jump into, we've got the big election coming up on November the 5th. And just some legislative concerns also with Congress and so forth that you want to review for us and for our viewers.
Yeah, so September is Legislative Risk Awareness Month, and it's appropriate because we've got the presidential election coming up. And the reality is, as you're doing planning for retirement, you don't want to have to replan every single 4 years because there's new, ideas that they're throwing out. I mean, from taxes on tips to child care credits to, whatever else they want to give away. The government's really not in a position to be giving away more freebies.
Right. And so can you go into detail on what, kind of what we need to do to be prepared for this election? Again, and the country's divided 50-50. We don't know who's going to be elected, but I want to be ready no matter what.
That's right. And so so I talk a lot about tax risk, and that's that taxes are going to be higher in the future. And I think that's a given $35 trillion worth of debt. I mean, I've got the numbers, I just pulled them up, that there's $38.4 trillion in retirement accounts.
Wow.
13.2 are in IRAs, 7.4 in 401ks. And there's a famous bank robber named Willie Sutton, and he was being asked before he went to jail, why do you rob banks? And he said, very simply, that's where the money is.
Right.
And that's really, when you look at the government and needing money, there's really three things that they can do to deal with this deficit that they've got. First is cut spending. Well, that's a very difficult thing to do because, of the $6.1 trillion in expenses, 3.8 of them are mandatory. That's things like Social Security, Medicare, funding the military.
Right.
We only bring in 4.4 trillion. So when you throw debt growing in there at about $1 trillion every 100 days, it's a tough problem to solve. And so for retirees, you've got the money, that you're the bank that they'll probably be coming to look at. So how do you get your retirement in something that's not going to be impacted? Well, a lot of times that's Roth conversions for folks. Sometimes it's spending the money out of your qualified accounts, which are your IRAs, your 401ks, your 403bs, getting those down so that you're not impacted as much by those required minimum distributions in the future. And then the last thing they can do is they can keep printing money. And to me, if we haven't learned anything, or if we have learned anything in the past few years, is that when there's too much money in the supply, inflation kills us.
Right.
And so these legislative policies impact us in multiple ways.
All right. Now, you had mentioned earlier in this interview that no matter whether Harris or Trump are elected, our taxes are still going to probably go up.
Well, so the big deal is the Trump tax laws, they sunset in 2026 at the end of 2025. And we go back to the old brackets. Well, the brackets themselves don't change much, but how much of your money is subject to each bracket is severely compressed. And so that means that you're going to pay on average about 30% more in taxes, about $1,500 per household more per year in just taxes. Well, that money's got to come from someplace. And for retirees with a fixed income, anytime you have inflation impact them, anytime you have taxes impact them, that means less take-home pay that you get.
Very good. We have about 20 seconds left. Anything else as we prepare for November?
Well, if they're interested, I'll have a white paper that was just written on legislative risk on my website. So if they go to the website, they can download that and a lot of other commentaries that I have. And also, if they want to schedule an appointment, just go there and click on the button. It's pretty easy to do.
Lots of great resources on your website. Thank you so much, Steve Gaito, our friend. See you next time.
Good to see you.